You asked, and today we're answering your questions when it comes to severe repetitive loss properties. We're answering some of those frequently questions we've gotten. Like through this video series, we talked about a lot of different things about severe and repetitive loss properties. But now let's wrap it all together. And some of the most frequently asked questions we get is, first of all, can you get removed from a severe repetitive loss property? Look, you absolutely can if certain conditions are met, like we've talked about in other videos, like mitigation efforts. Your property hasn't flooded in the last 10 years. You've worked with your local community to reduce the risk, all these different things. What about getting private flood insurance? Can you get on these properties? Typically not. Most private companies, not all, but most, will not insure these type of properties unless you've been flood-free, claim-free for probably at least 5 to 10 years. Potentially, then you might be able to get it, but the chances are probably less than 20% still, unless you can show that your risk has changed. What about selling a property in one of these areas? Can you sell your property? Look, you absolutely can. There's nobody saying you can't sell this property. They typically, if they're going to take out a mortgage, are just going to have to follow certain requirements, including getting flood insurance, which means their flood insurance might be more expensive than traditional properties. What about transferring your policy to another buyer? Can you potentially do this when you go to sell your house? Look, you absolutely can in a lot of situations. You just have to get a few signatures and submit that application to NFIP Direct. Now, one of the last questions we get is my flood insurance always going to be that expensive? Look, it depends on the flood risk. If your flood risk continues to stay high, then yes, especially with the National Flood Insurance Program, because they use things like distance to water, type of flood, flooding frequency, and the replacement cost of your property to determine your rates now, not your flood zone. So as a result, your premiums might stay high long term. Now, can you get flood insurance to anybody in this program? You actually cannot. So you could only typically get flood insurance through people that are appointed, insurance agents that are appointed with a program called NFIP Direct. If they're appointed just with a write your own company, they typically don't offer these coverages because it's a special program through NFIP Direct. So whatever insurance agent you're working with, make sure they're appointed with NFIP Direct to save your time and save their time. So that is today's video on the most common asked questions we get here at the Flood Insurance Guru. Look, I hope that this video series we've answered some of these questions. And look, we probably didn't answer all of them because I know I had a lot of questions when I bought a house in a flood zone more than a decade ago and was given a lot of wrong information. That's why we've got the downloadable guide in the description of this video for you to help you through this process. That's why we're here directly appointed to NFIP Direct to help you through this process. I'm Chris, the Flood Insurance Guru, and I look forward to helping you with your flood insurance questions and setting up your flood insurance through this process on these type of properties. Remember, share, subscribe, and like the channel below. Thank you.